All right, hello there, thrill seekers. And today's thrilling episode comes from May 5th, 2009, in the city of Saskatoon in Saskatchewan in Canada. And I am speaking here at their public library. I guess Ziggy doesn't want to see it. And I am answering a question that I get all the time, which is about getting motivated to meditate. Like, how do you stay motivated to meditate? How do you do it every day consistently? And here's my answer. I give similar answers all the time. Basically, it just comes down to just do it. You know, like the old Nike slogan. And forget about it doing anything for you. I do it the way probably normal people exercise. You know, you don't expect to be muscle man superior the first day you get on your elliptical machine. You just do it every day because you know that it has benefits over a long term. That's one of the things that keeps me motivated. And I just don't worry about being motivated. I don't worry about what it's going to do for me or what or how I'm going to feel. I just do it whether I feel good about it or feel bad about it, or you know, I just do it every day. I like brushing my teeth, and you're going to hear me say that in this video. So I hope you enjoy me in May of 2009 in Saskatoon. So here we go. Meditation is usually thought of as a process you do in order to work on your mind and to establish some specific goal that you set for yourself. It's specifically I think most people are thinking of as a mental process, whereas Zazen is actually a physical practice, and it's not based on attaining some kind of a goal. And the reason it's not based on attaining some kind of a goal is the reason people go to meditation is they look at themselves and they see that their lives are messy and that their minds are scattered and confused and so forth and so on. And they want to try and fix that. And what usually happens is that they create an ideal that they want to get to. They imagine what the state of not being confused and not being upset and not being emotional or whatever it is specifically they want to work on, is like, and they try to get to that. The problem is that no matter how beautiful that thing is that you set up in your mind, it's still the product of the same confusion that you're trying to deal with. So Zazen practice doesn't have any sort of goal. You sit and you do your practice in order to just see yourself exactly as you are, very quietly. And so I think it's something different. I think it kind of stands apart on its own. And it's not really a form of meditation, although I use that word sometimes just because it's convenient shorthand.
Can you talk about Zazen and the hand position and the postures? Could you tell us more about the posture? Why does it matter?
Well, okay. The posture and why does it matter? I wish I had something to sit on, because I could show you. There's actually a cushion called a zafu that's made for doing Zazen practice. But when I started, I was a college student, and zafus you couldn't walk into. Well, I don't know how it is here, but in some places you can just walk into like a bookstore and stuff, and they sell zafus, or you can order them on Amazon. There was no such thing as Amazon, so I used to use things like this, and I'll just briefly show you the position so everybody can see, and then I'll talk about it. You're just sitting like that. I can do this. You don't have to do this, but I can do my feet like that, and you're sitting like this. Or you can just sit like this. You need to have your shoes off, though, because shoes get in the way. And I have a lot of suspicions about why that particular posture has a sort of
efficacy, I can't use big words, is effective. And they're all just, dippy ideas that I have invented. But I'll tell you, I think what you're doing is you're holding your spine straight up vertically and letting it balance on top of your hip bones, and making this tripod with your butt and your knees. And we are the only animal, at least that we know of, the only one on this planet, whose natural posture is straight up and down, like this. Even chimpanzees and gorillas normally walk, quadrupedally, so their spine is not straight up, although they can stand straight up for short times. And birds also are bent over. So there's this uniquely human thing that we have, and I think that the posture affects the nervous system somehow, and makes your nervous system work more efficiently. That's my theory. And I've also noticed, like, if you're ever on a boat, or if you're ever living in Japan and experience an earthquake, which I've done a lot, when you're not stable and then you come back to stability all of a sudden, you not only feel physically calm, your mind settles down. If you ever have that experience, kind of pay attention, your mind will settle. And this posture is like the ultimate stable position you can have for your human body. And so that's why I think it's very important. There are other ways to kind of come in contact with reality, though. One of the things I noticed when I was being a punk rock musician, as I was just last week, because my band played a show in Detroit. On the way here, I stopped in Detroit. We played a show. Was that in order to play music, you have to develop this kind of special consciousness, I suppose. Not consciousness is a bad word for it, but state of mind, wherein you're not thinking about anything. Because if you start thinking, you'll screw it all up. And so I think musicians kind of can find this state. I think athletes often find it in their work. I think artists do. I think anybody who does a job of any kind with great attention will find that state of being kind of unified with what they're doing. The nice thing about Zazen is it's very easy. I can compare it in terms of being a musician. I don't have to carry the amplifier up the stairs or deal with the promoter afterwards, or come home at 4 a.m. So in a lot of ways it's a very easy way to do this.
One of the things I've noticed about this kind of practice is that a lot of people want to do it and very few people actually do.
Oh, tell me about it, yeah.
Like, myself is one of those people that I'm like intermittently do Zazen, I think I'm good for a while and then it all goes to shit. And so obviously consistency is a problem all over the place, but can you comment about that or talk about what people can do about that?
Yeah, it's definitely true. I mean, it's true in my case. I see it all the time because I publish these books and I live in Santa Monica, which is basically Los Angeles. It's right butt up against Los Angeles. And my books are in every bookstore in Los Angeles, and still when I have a Zazen class on Saturdays, 7 or 8 people show up, and I'm like one of the popular Zen teachers, for people who aren't as popular as that, it's less. So there is a difference between wanting to do it and doing it. A lot of people are obviously reading it, but aren't doing it. So this is the fundamental thing. The thing about Zen is it's not something anybody proselytizes about. Like I was recently asked to do an article telling people why they should do Zazen, and I'm like, I don't want to tell people why they should do Zazen. You got to figure that out for yourself. But in my case, as far as consistency was concerned, I kind of looked at my life at one point. Well, 2 things. Number one, when I wasn't consistent at first, And I found that when I stopped doing the practice, I started feeling crappy. And that I found that doing the practice helped with feeling crappy. It didn't feel as crappy when I did the practice. And so I just thought, well, maybe consistency will help. And I'll just start doing it every day. And it took years to get to that point. And the other thing was, I looked at my life and thought, what am I really doing all day? You know, if I actually like sit and plot it out, what am I really doing? I'm wasting a lot of time. You know, there's a lot of downtime when I wasn't really all that busy, and I could devote that time to zazen. So I just started figuring out how to shuffle my day around so I could do it. Now I know not everybody, you know, a lot of people live incredibly busy lives, so that doesn't always work for everybody, but that was certainly the case for me. But just as far as consistency, it was more a matter of just giving up my ideals about the practice, like giving up the idea that I needed to be doing it in order to have some kind of experience or something, and just getting comfortable with it not being like what I thought it ought to be like, and so I would just do it. I remember one time thinking, well, I'll never get enlightenment, but I want to see what not having enlightenment is like, you know, and I thought I could do it with that. Those are just things that I've done. And I just do it, you know. These days I do it, people ask why you do zazen, and I do it, it's like asking why do you brush your teeth. You know, if you think about it, you can say why you brush your teeth. And you can give reasons for it, and I can give reasons for doing zazen. But when it really comes down to it, why do you brush your teeth? You don't think about that when you're brushing your teeth. You don't think, I'm preventing gum disease, I'm freshening my breath, I'm getting rid of plaque and tartar buildup. You just brush your teeth. You know, you get up in the morning because that's what you do when you get up in the morning. And that's how I do zazen these days. That's what I do when I get up in the morning. That's the first thing I do. If I get up, I do it. You know, it's become kind of a habit. And I don't feel right when I don't do it. So, wait a minute. Can I? Because you didn't ask a question before, and then I'll do you. Okay. Yes. Yeah.
What have you gotten out of Buddhism?
What have I gotten out of it? I did a book. I don't know. See, that's a good question, because the longer you do this stuff, the harder it gets to ask that question. That sounds like a cop-out answer, but it's true. I don't really. It's helped me settle a lot of things that I don't think I could have settled without it. I became more aware of who and what I was and what my position in the universe and the scheme of things was, and I wanted to find that out. And it sort of cured me of the fear of death, which is not to say that I don't fear death at all, but I don't have this morbid terror of it anymore. I certainly don't want to die, you know, and if I got, you know, terminally ill, I would do everything in my power to get well. But I no longer have this terror of someday disappearing, which I used to. And that was a big weight lifted off my shoulders. And what else? I don't know. I get to come to Saskatoon, you know. So that's good.